Welcome to CE Ag Talks, the video series from CE Ag World, a media site devoted to the business of growing food undercover, including greenhouse produce, vertical farms, and outdoor protected crops. Today we're welcoming Cole Mucci, third-generation grower from the Mucci family and founder of KingsOne Farms, Ontario, a lettuce greenhouse facility that's slated for completion this fall. Cole, thank you for joining me on this episode of CE Ag Talks.
Dana, thank you so much for having me. I look forward to having a conversation with you.
So to get us kind of started here, when did you first realize that you wanted to start your own greenhouse business?
Pretty well always knew since I was young. My family's very intertwined in it, and my grandparents came here in the 50s. My dad and my uncle took off with the business, and I've been involved with it ever since I was born. Grew up around the farm and on the farm every day after school, so I always knew that this was my future.
How did you decide on the location of your greenhouse and the crops that you wanted to grow?
Well, I am from Kingsville, Ontario, and Ontario being the biggest in the greenhouse industry, or location from a location standpoint, it was a no-brainer. The infrastructure and the support that we have here, I see a big opportunity here as well for lettuce, especially on the East Coast. There's serious issues with it coming from the West Coast, and that's a 3 to 4 day truck ride, and logistically it doesn't make sense. And I believe that there is a far more viable way of doing this and supporting this side of the country. That's a plan, right? I believe that there is demand for lettuce.
For sure. Now, what are your specific goals for KingsOne Farms once it's up and running?
Of course, to produce nutritious, clean, delicious lettuce for consumers and to scale the company from a production standpoint. But to do that the right way comes down to operations. So you got to keep the crop quality, food safety, distribution, logistics, and all those big things that drive and keep your company going are very important, right? So you can't forget those core factors. But to definitely scale up, we are starting with a 6.5 acre range, and that is the plan to scale it up within the next few years.
You said that greenhouse farming runs in your blood, and it definitely does. You're a third-generation Mucci, as in Mucci Farms, which is an industry-leading greenhouse producer with facilities across North America. Can you tell us a little bit more about how your experience with Mucci Farms has informed your approach to KingsOne Farms?
I think just, like I said, growing up around the industry and being intertwined with it, really learning a lot every single day, being around my dad and being around the facility. I've learned a bunch of things from working there in the summers, working there after high school, when I was in high school. I think a big thing has to do with just really being in it every single day. And, for the last 8 years, growing lettuce on a small scale on Mucci, I really see taking it to the next level. We were just doing it in like 1 acre range. And, now I believe it's my job to diversify and integrate something new at a larger scale with newer technology. And I believe it's my job, and it's now time for me to do that. And I'm really looking forward to it.
We've talked about before you being a Gen Z. People who are in the younger age demographics tend to, want to buy healthier produce. Can you explain how you plan to reach that audience?
I mean, yeah, the plan is, and that's super important too. And I definitely do see that with my generation. We are extremely health conscious, it seems like, compared to past generations, which I think is a super great thing. And my goal is to encourage people to eat greenhouse grown because of the cleanliness and the food safety. And I believe, with this facility, we will have the opportunity to, educate and show that and show how clean that the produce is. Not that we haven't already done this before. We are very large scale vine crop growers, right? But that is a goal, to really push the greenhouse grown because of how clean and safe it truly is.
Well, Cole, thank you again for taking some time out of your afternoon to talk to me about your exciting new venture. Is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers about KingsOne Farms?
This is only the beginning, so the road's kind of just getting started here, but definitely stay tuned. And, as my generation is super active on social media, so we'll be very robust on there. We're on LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram, so you can follow us there on KingsOne Farms.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Cole, and I'm sure we'll talk again sometime soon.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dana.